always good to be here. So, I'm Dr. Simone Gold. I'm the founder and president of America's Frontline Doctors. America's Frontline Doctors is presenting this J6 panel at Reawaken here in Miami, and thank you for being here. The way this press conference will go is I'll speak for a short time, maybe 2-3 minutes, to explain a little bit. I'll turn it over to Ivan Raiklin, and he'll then turn it over to 2 more people, and then we'll do a Q&A. And this is really focusing on the J6 situation. You may wonder why I'm standing here as the founder and president of America's Frontline Doctors talking about January 6th. And I'm going to tell you that I am J6, you are J6, and we're all J6. I stood up and spoke the summer of 2020 about the medical tyranny that really had taken over our nation. I couldn't believe that Americans were giving up all of their civil rights enshrined in the Constitution given to us by God, our inalienable rights, and we were just handing them over willy-nilly because the media, the government had captured us with fear. They said, "Thou shalt be afraid," and all of a sudden, our civil rights had disappeared. I knew then that that was just a harbinger of things to come. I had seen traces of this in my work as an emergency physician, traces not quite as severe, but where really patients weren't given the freedom and choice that they should have been given. After 2020, many of us have stories of what essentially amounted to medical kidnapping, right? There would be a patient that would go into the hospital and their family couldn't see them and the family couldn't get through. This is just kind of a milder version of what is happening in other more severe areas. There I was, really trying to bring truth on this area of medical tyranny, and I found myself at the Capitol on January 6th as an invited guest speaker with a permit to speak what I speak of, which is medical freedom. The day, of course, didn't go as planned. A lot of agencies are working and doing nefarious things, and I was swept into them. And I was charged with 5 criminal violations, a felony, and 4 misdemeanors, with words like violent and disorderly. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
And does it especially make sense when you can watch all the video of all my time there? Peaceful, walking through the ropes, and in my case, giving a medical freedom speech. That was my involvement on J6. Nonetheless, the government arrested me in a very violent takedown with a SWAT team and 20 officers with huge weapons pointing at me, battering ram, breaking my door down, very violent, obviously an attempt to intimidate me. And I swore that I wouldn't even take a plea until I discovered that one of the charges against me was a 20-year felony, like many other J6ers, and I was put into a very difficult position. I have a medical license, I have a law license, I couldn't afford a felony. Who can really? And who can really look 20 years in the eye from a corrupt system, corrupt DOJ, and say what they would do? What I did was I took a plea. And I stood up in front of the judge. He had all the video of me being peaceful. And he gave me 60 days in federal penitentiary. Nonviolent, misdemeanor trespass. 60 days. I ended up being sent to a maximum security facility, FDC Miami. It was no picnic. But I appreciate the experience because I will serve testimony, I will give testimony and remind people that there are people languishing in the prisons right now, as we all know, that were there, for example, pre-trial, illegal. I'm a lawyer. For those of you who don't recall, I'm a doctor and a lawyer. This was illegal to hold people pre-trial. Then they're being held, and some of them have recently been sentenced to years and years and years. You can't get a fair trial in the DC jury system. We're all entitled to a jury of our peers. We know that there is no jury of your peers in Washington, DC. There's a lot of data to prove that. So I decided that we need to talk about this. I'm bringing together for everyone to make it real that the tyranny that is being suffered, the indignity that's being suffered by prisoners that are languishing in jail over charges that are essentially trespass or political speech, this is coming to all of us if we don't take action. I want to put a face on it. I am J6. I am J6. You're next. You're next. I'd like to introduce an attorney who's done a lot of work on this issue. Ivan Raycliffe with his own perspective.